Joining me today is New Hampshire Representative Paul Henle, who is on the House Ways and Means Committee. So, Paul, thank you so much for being here.
John, thank you for having me.
I want to talk about a bill that you put forward first.
Yes.
And I know it didn't make it very far this year.
Well, that's depends how you're looking at it. People could say it made very far.
Okay.
I'm quite pleased.
It didn't get to the governor's desk.
Didn't get to the governor's desk. But he might have heard about it.
He might have. It's about an income tax.
It's tax reform. It's not about an income tax. Let's be clear.
All right.
Okay.
So
HB 415, otherwise known as HB April the 15th, was a bill I sponsored. It's tax reform legislation.
So talk me through what are the pieces in that reform.
It's the big overview is $500 million of business tax cuts and $500 million of property tax cuts, paid for, because we got to pay for these things, a 3.95% income tax.
Is that income on all forms of income?
Yeah, it comes right off of your 1040. You start with your AGI from your 1040, which is basically what you make. Then you get exemptions, the same as the federal level. And then everybody gets a standard deduction, pretty much same as the federal level. And then you take 3.95% of that. It's a flat tax. It's not terribly progressive. A single person making $20,000 a year would pay a couple $100 of income tax. It also it piggybacks on the federal earned income tax credit. So that's a benefit for low-income families.
So talk to me about what you mean when you say it piggybacks on the earned income tax credit.
There's a federal earned income tax credit, which is geared towards low-income families with children. There's a formula, which I can't get into because I don't completely understand it, but
it's in the tax form somewhere.
It comes in there, and it comes up with a figure.
Yep.
And it's a refundable tax credit, so a family of four, say, making $30,000 would actually get a check.
Back from the federal government.
It's not even back. I mean, it is back but it's not like a refund from money they put in. It's an anti-pop.
So, I mean, if they paid no taxes, they'd still get this check.
They'd still get this check. And so what my bill would have done 30% of that would have been a state figure. So if you got $1,000 back from the federal government, you would have gotten $300 from the state government.
And so would you still have to pay the 3.95%?
You would, but you'd have no tax liability because of the exemptions and deductions and this tax credit.
So why a flat rate?
Constitution of New Hampshire pretty much precludes, everybody agrees.
On a progressive system.
Basically in New Hampshire, everybody's got to pay the same tax rate
so
for any tax. So we can't tax, with our business taxes, we can't tax out-of-state corporations differently than in-state corporations.
Or small corporations
different
compared
than
big
corporations. We can't, you go to McDonald's and you pay 9% on your hamburger. We can't means test. Everybody's got to pay the same 9%.
What would have been would there have been a cost to create a structure to?
There is a cost. The Department of Revenue Administration put a sort of a ballpark $30 million cost per year to administer. Everybody sort of felt that was high, but it was a starting point. There would be a cost. Currently, interest and dividend, we have a tax on not unearned income.
Yep.
They get about, let's say 60,000 filers a year on that tax. That's 60,000 pieces of paper they got to deal with. Under this income tax, that would increase by tenfold, 600,000 filers. So it's quite a ramp up.
And some of the filers would be the same filers.
Some of them would say
60,000 would probably be the same filers.
Would be the same filers. So anyway, it would be a ramp up for the amount of paper. Of course, now they're trying to get as many electronic filers.
Well, I'm going to stop there, but I want to come back to this because I want to actually talk about why getting rid of or lowering the business profits and refunding the towns makes a lot of sense with an income tax.
Right. We're going to talk about two words when we come back. One is going to be flexibility, and the other is going to be visibility.
Well, when we come back, flexibility and visibility will be it. So please stay with us.